The Glades is your trusted companion. Our goal is to guide you through the diverse world of property ownership in the UK and help you decide for your future. Together, we'll explore the three main types, helping you decide for your future. Let's start with exploring the three primary property ownership types in the UK. Number 1. Freehold. This offers full ownership and control of the property. Number 2. Leasehold. Ownership is accompanied by a lease agreement, often lasting for a set number of years. Number 3. Common hold. In this arrangement, ownership is shared, and property management is a collective effort in multi-unit properties. And now let's dive deeper into the advantages and disadvantages of each property type, helping you make informed decisions about your property ownership journey. Advantages of freehold. With freehold, you have complete ownership and control over your property, including the land it's on. No ground rent. Unlike leasehold, you won't be required to pay ground rent to a landlord. Flexibility. You have the freedom to make changes to your property without needing permission. No lease term. Freehold has no time limit, giving you security for the long term. Easier resale. It can be easier to sell a freehold property because there's no lease term attached. Disadvantages of freehold. Higher initial cost. Freehold properties often come with a higher initial price compared to leasehold. Responsibility. You're responsible for all maintenance and repairs, which can be costly. Property management. Common areas in freehold properties might not be well maintained without a management company. Having explored the pros and cons of freehold ownership, let's now turn our attention to another significant property ownership type in the UK, leasehold. Join us as we uncover the unique advantages and challenges that come with leasehold properties. Advantages of leasehold. Lower initial cost. Leasehold properties often have a lower initial purchase price compared to freehold. Maintenance shared. The responsibility for maintenance and repairs of common areas is typically shared among leaseholders, reducing individual burdens. Amenities. Leasehold properties may offer access to shared amenities or services, such as gyms or gardens. Management. Property management is usually handled by the landlord or management company, ensuring common areas are well maintained. Regulation. Leasehold properties are subject to certain regulations, which can provide legal protections for leaseholders. Disadvantages of leasehold. Lease term. Leasehold properties come with a lease term that may range from a few decades to centuries. When the lease term expires, ownership reverts to the freeholder. Ground rent. Leaseholders are often required to pay ground rent to the freeholder. Limited control. Leaseholders have less control over the property and may need permission for alterations or renovations. Service charges. Leaseholders must pay service charges for the maintenance of common areas, and these charges can vary. Lease extension costs. Extending the lease or purchasing the freehold can be expensive and complex. Having explored the intricacies of leasehold ownership, let's now shift our focus to common hold. Join us as we uncover the unique advantages and challenges associated with common hold properties. Advantages of common hold ownership and control. Common hold provides property owners with direct ownership and control over their individual units, making it similar to freehold ownership in this regard. No lease term. Unlike leasehold, common hold properties have no lease terms. Owners have a perpetual stake in the property. Shared responsibility. Maintenance and management of common areas are shared among all common hold property owners, reducing individual maintenance burdens. Transparency. Common hold properties typically have a transparent and democratic management structure, with decisions made by the owners themselves. No ground rent. Owners are not required to pay ground rent, as is often the case with leaseholds. Flexibility. Common hold allows owners to have more control over their property, including the ability to make changes or improvements. Disadvantages of common hold. Limited availability. Common hold is still relatively rare in the UK compared to leasehold and freehold, making it less accessible in many areas. Complex setup. Establishing and managing common hold can be complex and may require a significant level of cooperation and coordination among property owners. Initial costs. Common hold properties may have higher initial purchase prices compared to some leasehold options. Shared decision-making. While shared decision-making can be an advantage, it can also lead to conflicts and disagreements among property owners. Responsibility. Owners share responsibility for maintenance and repairs, which can lead to disputes or disagreements over costs. Market perception. Some potential buyers and lenders may be less familiar with common hold, affecting property resale and mortgage availability. I hope this exploration of property ownership in the UK has cleared any doubts you might have had. Now, let's delve into an intriguing curiosity. Did you know that? In January 2023, it was announced that the leasehold system would be abolished completely. However, this plan has undergone a change. Instead of complete abolition, significant reforms will be implemented. These reforms include: a cap of 0.1% is to be placed on the ground rent of a property with effect from the 13th of July 2023. The UK leasehold reform will likely have several effects: lower costs, reduced ground rent makes owning property more affordable. Increased property value, lower ground rents can boost property value. Transparency, the reform improves clarity in lease agreements. Consumer protection, it guards leaseholders from unfair practices. Developer adjustments, developers may need to adapt pricing and strategies. Mortgage impact, lenders may change views on leasehold properties. Legal disputes, disputes may arise as developers challenge the reform. The full impact will emerge over time, varying by location and circumstance. Property stakeholders must adapt to the changes. Before we dive into the fascinating world of property ownership's key takeaways, let's take a quick detour to explore two additional and unique forms of property ownership. Individual ownership, sole ownership of property. Imagine a world where one person holds the keys to complete ownership and control, making every property decision. It's the ultimate realm of authority in property management. Joint ownership, co-ownership of property. On the flip side, picture a collaborative approach where multiple individuals come together to jointly own and manage a property. It's a world of shared dynamics, offering its own set of intriguing advantages and quirks. Now, let's summarize the key takeaways from these property ownership structures and explore their distinct advantages and disadvantages. Freehold key takeaways: full control and long-term security. No lease term restrictions, but higher upfront expenses. Full maintenance responsibility with potential limited property management. Leasehold key takeaways: affordable entry with lower initial costs. Lease term restrictions and ground rent obligations. Shared maintenance and well-maintained common areas. Common hold key takeaways: direct ownership and shared maintenance. Transparency, democratic decision-making, and no ground rent. A unique blend of freehold and leasehold for cooperative ownership. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of property ownership in the UK. If you have any questions, need guidance, or are ready to explore your property options, don't hesitate to get in touch with the Glades. Your dream property and expert advice are just a click or call away.